People are mad because of a, I think, unintended side effect that just happened in the game. You see, let me walk you through it. On the subreddit right now, there's multiple posts complaining about pre-made parties in Battlegrounds. What are pre-made parties in Battlegrounds? Well, let me show you. What's going on right now in the game is raid group assembly. This was a change that was added into the game as of this patch. So effectively what this actually means is that you can now have 8-player groups. You can't do things that are meant for 4 players like dungeons, hidden lairs, and elder rifts, but you can have 8-player groups that will run around in the overworld or what have you. You still only share rewards between the 4 of you. So really it's just a small quality of life change to make it easier to manage your groups and get into raids and whatnot. That's about it. That's effectively what this actually says. It's supposed to be streamlining the assembly process. What it actually did, though, was have an unintended, I'm surely this is an unintended consequence because it doesn't make any sense, that when you go into a battleground, what it actually does now is automatically make you join a party. Now, maybe what this actually meant and what it was intended for is that people aren't joining parties, aren't realizing you should be in parties, or AFK in the beginning, so aren't joining a party, what have you. And so they're like, we're just going to throw you into a party as it is. But the unintended consequence is this is actually going to nerf some of the classes in PvP because they're not doing a very good job of sorting out the parties. You see, when I joined the Battlegrounds, I went and tested this. It threw me in a party with all of the other wizards. Just for some reason, it put all of the classes just in the same party. Well, obviously that's going to have the unintended side effect that makes it where there's no crusaders in my party. All of the other ones are crammed in the same party. There's no conjuration of light that's going to be shared there. Like, it doesn't give the support players the ability to decide in which teams or split up those support players. Even things like Necromancer have team-wide buffs that maybe they want to give to the correct players in their team. So that seems a little weird of an implementation for me. But it goes a little further because this guy's point is fantastic. I go to Corvus or Keons with my warband, but I can't party up with them. I also can't make a mastermind party if I needed to. They have a Paragon tree that's literally about teaming up with people and having separate classes, etc. So it doesn't make a lot of sense that you can't actually control what classes are in the party. I kind of feel like, okay, maybe it's not really a big deal. Like, it's not like a huge deal. But what it does actually do is it makes a class that their entire role, like, I feel like Crusader is a conjuration of Lightbot. Like, they're good in PvP because of that ability. They have some other moves that are quite good as well. But that one in particular is very good. And this removes a pretty large power structure around that ability. Now, the Crusader's always going to still be able to shield somebody, but it doesn't give them the ability to, like, okay, I'm going to join, like, the Wells Resonant, you know, the highest resonance guy on my team's party and shield him, or it doesn't give them the ability to play around like, oh, no, we got 3 Crusaders in the same party. It's literally just random. And like I said, I put all the wizards in my party in the last battle anyway. And we're kind of off the back of the change that the Defenders got nerfed a little bit with the fact that the Phase 2 of Battlegrounds idle movement pushback is 50% slower. So this is actually like a somewhat W change for Battlegrounds. I actually think that's quite cool. So it feels weird to me that it's like, okay, we're focusing, they're particularly been focusing on Battlegrounds. They've been doing matchmaking and PvP updates and this change here. And then, like, it's like, what is this move? Like, you guys have been focusing on making PvP Battlegrounds better, which is a good move, by the way. It's a good focus. Like, you should probably make the PvP better for the people. But I don't understand forcing them into random parties. Maybe it's an opt-in thing or something. Or maybe if you haven't joined a party, by the time that gate actually opens, then you're forced into one of the remaining spots to give people that time that are there early to actually party up would be a better implementation. But that's just off the top of my head. That's already a better implementation. So yeah, not a fan of that personally. I can see why it was maybe implemented. Maybe people just weren't getting the parties. So like, okay, we'll just force the people in who don't realize it. But I think that there's other ways that could be implemented, like literally just the one I just suggested. So not a fan of that. I do, however, I did play PvP and I did actually feel the change of that slow back. I do think this was a good change. So a little bit of a yin yang on today's video, some negative, but also some positive feedback for PvP. So that's about it. See you on the next one.